So hi everyone. I am glad to be here. I'm lying down on a mat right now because I can, because I don't have to sit in a chair. So we're going to be going over the teaching practicum number 2, the teaching assignment number 2. It's already been assigned to you in Google Classroom because I released it when I was supposed to be teaching. We're a little behind schedule, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay. The question that we're going to be exploring today is, how do we create an effective demo? It is the linchpin of teaching acro, is the demo, and when we come back in, that's where everything focuses on, is how well do we do a demo. That's where the majority of our teaching happens. It's not where all of our teaching happens, which we'll talk about, but that's where a lot of our teaching happens for the students to grow. So the objective of this assignment and the objective of today is to learn how to create effective demos, find your voice as a teacher, incorporate principles of acro love into your demo, and show and demonstrate safety. So those are the 4 major things that we want you to take out of this assignment and take out of this small, tiny lecture today. We are going to go to breakout rooms, and I will share this in breakout rooms, but you all have this. This is shared with you in Google Classroom, just in case you don't know, because it seems like only 14 people are on it. If you go here, somebody requested the wrong access for it. But if you go here and you see week 1 presentation, this is where it is. It says materials to use throughout training, and it's week 1 presentation. We are on currently slide number 57 already. So you're going to drop down to slide 57, and that's where you're going to see these prompts. What I want you to do is, in the breakout rooms, discuss these. Maybe have one note taker or not, but we're going to bring it back into the Zoom chat and just kind of quickly talk about it. So you're going to talk about, think back to all of your acro classes. What are the essentials of an acro demo? And have you seen any disaster demos, and why was it a disaster? And then the second question that I want you, or the second concept I want you to explore is, how should demos be organized? In your group, come up with a system of how you think demos should be organized. All right? So,
Sarah, are you doing smaller groups, like just 3 screens?
Smaller groups? I think like
more groups, smaller.
Hey, Sarah, could you elaborate on what's the order of a demo? Like, what do you mean?
So when it says how should you're going to come up with a way that a demo can be organized. So when you're thinking about organization, is you're trying to think about how a demo should be set up. Like, should it start off where we're sitting down and talking, or should it be set up where we're doing a silent demo? How do you think a demo should be organized? What's the best, most effective way to be organized? So we're going to break groups. I think we should do like maybe 6 or 7 breakout rooms, smaller groups.
Yes, sorry, more rooms.
How many people do you want per room?
3 cameras per room.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah, I was confusing you with that question.
Sorry.
More groups, smaller, so that way you guys have more time to talk.
Yeah. More small groups.
Yeah.
Taylor, are you taking care of the breakout rooms?
Yep, already doing it.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share these questions, even though you have access to them. I'm going to share them in the Zoom chat right now. You lose the ability to Zoom chat with me when we go into breakout rooms, but you can always call a facilitator in. And
we'll also push it out again.
Yeah, and I can give it to the big group also.
Perfect.
All right, so join your room once Taylor has you in, and then we'll come back in just like 3 or 4 minutes.
Yep, and again, what makes an effective demo? How is it organized?
Great. On how many minutes?
3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes.
5 minutes. Got it.
5 minutes. Great.
No problem. Starting. Please go to your rooms. Well, that sounds so much more malicious.
Lizzie, are you trying to tell me something? No.
Oh, we've got a third person. Taylor. Right. So kind of like common things that go wrong with it and how to show what to do in that circumstance. So whether you need a spotter covering a particular area tends to be the most important thing for me, just because that's the safety related bit first.
Yeah, always irks me so much when someone will do a demo and like say break, and I'm just like, but how do we spot it? Like, I know most people can probably figure it out, but like, unless we're like,
it's not always intuitive.
Yeah, I feel like, just a reminder, especially with beginner and intermediate acro yogis need,
Yeah,
that
well,
real so much.
There tends to be a question that's like, so does everyone know how to spot this? Yeah. And like half the room are quiet and half the room are kind of mumbling, yeah. It's like, no, you want a like really assertive yes from everyone. So if there isn't like everyone in the room saying, yeah, we totally understand this, right, there was one person that wasn't saying they know how to spot it, we're gonna have to do all the spotting. Kind of like, it's just got to be so everyone knows this, otherwise can't move forward.
There's something that I thought of immediately that seems really obvious, but like doesn't always happen. Show the skill before you talk about the skill. Because especially in the foundations classes I've subbed in before, like sometimes when you have a curriculum that just repeats itself like every 7 weeks, it's easy to just start explaining it right away because like everybody knows this skill, but not everybody's going through that class for the second or third time. So like it's really important to, even though Bird is like, so what we would like introduce acro with, just like show it and don't assume that people like have a general idea of what it looks like.
Yeah, so in my last breakout, I was talking about I've got a couple of toys that are effectively just models that I've got one here that I adopted a couple of years ago for showing people what I wanted them to do. So that if I couldn't like talk them through, because we had a couple of people that you'd talk them, and when they're upside down, it just didn't work. But when you showed them right upside down, that leg forward there, that worked really well. So making sure that everyone that's watching the demo can pick up on the way you're describing it, and you might have to go through 2 or 3 different ways of the different ways that people learn that we talked about earlier. You might need to go through them different ways as you do the demo. Maybe even do the demo once with someone talking about it in one way, and then swap to maybe a more physics-based way for me to be able to understand it. So that's quite important for me, that the judge the room as to, has everyone picked up on it, or do I need to go and demo again? How do you get like consensus that everyone has understood the demo? What's kind of the wording that goes around that as well?
Well, we always ask like just like open the floor for questions or clarifications before break, before going 1, 2, 3, go.
I always found it effective, like when instructors would have like kind of a shorter demos, but like more often. Like we had an instructor who fell into a habit of, he would go on what felt like 10 minutes explaining every single pitfall, yada yada yada. And I always wish he would have just been like, just give us like, a good overview. And
necessary. Necessary. And
yeah, instead of like going super hard on the first one.
Yeah.
But that was really a big thing I found out.
Do you guys feel like do you guys feel like it's important what order you show flying base or talk about flying basing spotting? Because I guess I was thinking like it wouldn't really matter what order you show those in, but I was wondering if you guys think it might matter.
Yeah, as long as you go like base does and then flyer does, if that's your question. Yeah, I don't think there's a order. Yeah. And I like the idea of the short description, like break into short pieces. Yeah.
yeah, quite often that allows the room to move at a different pace as well. People are getting it a bit quicker. Because if you do a big long chunk, you then have to watch everyone doing that whole chunk. So it's kind of more difficult to do a little bit and watch them and then move on to another bit. And so yeah, smaller bite-sized chunks is better for studying or anything. It's just,
yeah, it's so hard to internalize the whole thing in that like span. Like I feel like you would say it and then be like, oh, they end, but the beginning I don't remember.
Welcome back, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So if maybe one group could share, maybe their disaster demo that they saw without naming names or shaming anyone. Could someone share their disaster demo?
I can share mine.
Perfect. Go for it, Morgan.
Okay. So I have a friend. I don't know if anyone, well, I just have a friend and she's like my best friend. And she wasn't pregnant at the time we planned our class. And then by the time we were teaching, she was like very pregnant, like 4 weeks away from giving birth. And her, just like the counterbalance did not work at all. And we just like had this weird fall, and then everyone like just gasped, right? Because she's pregnant, and like she was fine and we were fine. We were just so embarrassed because yeah, so like calibrate, even if you've calibrated it before, like calibrate 5 minutes before you teach, just in case your partner is very pregnant.
Yeah. Could anybody share what makes an effective demo? Like, could anybody just, what did their group come up with for that? Jeff Miller?
Yeah, like I said, I'll keep saying, I come from a dance background. The thing that we use is called DEEP, because everybody loves acronyms. DEEP, demonstrate, explain, execute, practice.
Wow.
So it's like we would go, hey guys, this is what we're gonna learn. Do. And then we explain each piece of that move. Some of the moves we could actually do in slow motion. Do, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Then show it, steps 1, 2, 3. And then they practice it. Then we go back to, okay, now we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then practice it.
Jeff, would you mind writing that in the chat for everyone? I think that's a great acronym for us to take on. I love it.
Awesome.
Post it in the group for us too.
Group chat in the group. I gotcha.
Yeah. So how do you, Jeff Miller kind of talked about like the organization of it. Does anybody have any other ideas of like how a demo could be organized? Does anybody want to share? Jill?
Hi. I think oftentimes we focus on what the material is that we're going to be teaching, but I really have to emphasize that a good demo starts from when you call people in and ends with how you send them off. And like classroom logistics make for the experience of the participant so much better or so much worse. Like, how do I call you in? How do I send you out? Am I going to be telling you when you change roles? How much time are we going to be doing this for? How is the space organized? Like those kinds of things to take into consideration. Where are you sitting for the best view? When can you ask questions? All of those things are really important.
And I think what Jill brings up also is like when to ask questions, because some people are like, they have to have their questions answered. And if we look at science, there's a lot of people that cannot go learn unless their question is answered. But if they know there's a platform for them to ask their question, they'll be less anxious and actually be able to learn more when they know they have an opportunity for that. Yeah, calling in, calling out, all those things are really important for you to establish as a teacher. And the more that you teach, the easier it is going to be to have all those. And I think thank you for bringing that up, Jill. I appreciate that. So we're going to move on just because of time. I don't want us to go over, just to respect everybody's time. In Acro Love, and all Acro Love facilitators, you can chime in on this, but what we're looking for in terms of a demo is it reaches all students that are there, that are present. It doesn't mean it has to reach everyone, but it reaches the students that are there. So if you have your criteria of prereqs, it should be those are the students that you're reaching, but there might be people that are way above. So how are you going to reach everyone that's there?
And can I just say, also reaching all the different types of learners, because that's usually like something I really try to think about. Am I jumping the gun,
Yep.
Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to talk. Go ahead.
No worries. We'll get to that, and feel free to chime in. We'll get to the different learners, but Josh he's this is a commercial for the learners. Modifications offered, being an effective communicator. I think that's what Jill is kind of discussing about, is like the more that you can be a better communicator, it will be better for your students to be able to learn. You should be embodied. You should know the skill that you're teaching. And like we heard, now I'm forgetting the name, who shared with the pregnant woman, was it Morgan who shared that story? I'm not sure. You know, like embody it before, like at least 5 minutes before, to make sure that it's safe, because safety is really important. Spotting, can people hear you, right? That's a very important thing, is if you're whispering, it's gonna really distract from what you're supposed to be learning. So audible, but also I tend to talk fast, and therefore sometimes people can't hear me because how fast I'm talking. So I have to always remind myself to slow down. Shared voice. You saw Kina today, how she was like, I am not going to have a shared voice. I'm okay with not a shared voice. And this is the part of the voice that I want to share, which is completely beautiful. But she shared that with us. We're not like, why is Hobbs taking over? Or why isn't Kina being part of this? She shared what she feels comfortable with. And at times, maybe you have a headache one day, or maybe you're just not feeling it, whatever it may be. Shared voice of however you feel a shared voice should happen. Concise directions, useful cues, and you know how to manage time, which I'm trying to model today, because it's almost time for us to end. So the different ways to model and organize a demo, I just wanted you to think about it. There's different ways. Now we have the deep metaphor also, but we have the silent demo, then the base can talk, the flyer can talk, and then we have the spotting demo. That's one example. The base and flyer can speak together, and then the next demo could be the spot speaks only. You could show spotting first, and then you have the flyer and base speak together. I mean, it's possible. You can try it out and see what works, but these are just different ways that you can organize, and you can be creative and get feedback to see how it went. And the feedback that you're looking for is, how well are your students embodying the skill? If you did show spotting first and flyer and base because you really care about safety, you're like, we're going to show spotting, we're going to do flyer, base, and speak, and then we're going to leave with showing spotting again, like as an option if we add that on. That could be another way of doing it, right? Like where you really want to stress the safety of it, so you're going to sandwich the spotting, okay? There's many other possible ways to demo. Hobbs does a really good job of volunteering bases and flyers, and to have them walk through it also while he's teaching. You can have students ask questions while you're teaching. Like Jill said, you could have it as a way like, this is a time that you need to ask questions, and then they're ready with their questions, and you let them know the time that's going to happen, and their questions could drive the demo. You only speak to your own roles. Good viewpoint for students. So we have to make sure that the students can see. You might want them to lie down on the floor to be able to see. You might want them to stand up. You might want them to be on their side, whatever it may be. That is what you're looking for. I'm just seeing chats coming in. I'm just making sure we're okay. If I need to answer a chat, can other people look at it, because there's a lot of words there.
Also, like
Yes,
common pitfalls would also be like, you're just angled in the wrong way and people cannot see what you're talking about, or like the direction of your voice is just not being picked up by people. So just being aware of like all the different factors.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to assignment number 2, which has already been assigned to you. This is in Google Classroom. It was assigned to you while Hobbs and Kina were teaching. But if you look here, teaching assignment, there's 2 teaching, you have 3 teaching assignments this week. So the first one that you're going to look at is the one that just says teaching assignment number 2, how to create you're going to open it up, and this is how to create an effective demo. You can look through it on the slideshow, but for me, it's nicer for you. us to look at it on this format. So the purpose of this assignment is to create effective demos, find your voice, and incorporate principles. I would like for you, oh yeah, the skills assessment I don't think is shared with you. I can make that shared. Oh, I'm going to take that off. That's a wrong link. The skills assessment you have in Google Classroom, I'll make sure that it's shared with you. So what you're going to do is this is a write-up for the teaching assignment, okay? I 100% trust that you can read it all, but you're going to pick a move from the skills assessment. You can either do like just demo bird, okay? Or you could demo bird to throne, or bird to whatever you want to do from bird, okay? I'm going to say transition is probably going to be more enjoyable. But the skills assessment you have in Google Classroom with a skills assessment, which is listed right here. This is a skills assessment sheet that I'm talking about. I will make sure that it's linked in there. But what you have right now is not going to be the right thing that's linked. And I cannot change your documents because it's already been shared with you in your name. So it's your personal document now. But when I'm talking about skill assessment, take something from here or two things from here, and you're going to demo it. So yes, it's a very beginner's basic demo. So it should be, you can show a silence demo. You should speak the role as a flyer, speak the role of a base, and lastly, the role of the spotter. So if you want to do it in a different way, go for it. Okay, you can be, this is what we're offering, but you can always use your creative mind to come up with a different one. But we want to see all four of these, okay? If you want to do it in a different way, that's fine, but we want to see that you can do flyer, base, spotter, and silent, okay? If your partner is taking the course with you for the teacher training, try to have a shared voice when you're teaching. So the flyer speaks to the flyer, the base speaks to the base, things like that. If you don't have a partner, this is a write-up for you if you're doing this alone. And Josh, I think we talked about this one. Sorry, you're seeing it live. Josh, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so I said that you can do either a static pose and attempt to do it with a chair or a prop. I don't know if you're watching Acro Yoga Montreal's amazing prop challenge of like using a chair to do amazing stuff. So if you have not, I highly recommend looking at that and seeing how amazing what Eugene is doing with a chair. It's remarkable. So I would like to challenge you to do this with a chair or another prop that you can think of. Be creative, make it fun, make it enjoyable for yourself. Speak the role of the flyer, speak of the role of the base. You're going to need a different prop for the base. You'll need a different prop for if you're having someone be the flyer. So make it creative and fun. And the spotter, how will you do that? I don't know. You'll use your creative minds to invent. And let's see what you create. So what to turn in? It should be about 5 to 7 minutes. Try not to make it more than 7 minutes. Short demos are really valuable. Being brief and concise is a skill. It's due this Thursday, June 11th, 2020, midnight Pacific Standard Time, or 11:59 Pacific Standard Time. So you're going to have to upload it to YouTube or something. You're not going to be able to share your entire video on Google Classroom. It will get bogged down, but it's just better for our viewing experiences as teachers. So you just have to upload it. You can do it privately on YouTube if you don't want it to be seen. If you want it to be seen, awesome, go for it. It could be fun. And then feedback will be given to you by your mentor. So we're still choosing the dear mentees. It will be revealed to you shortly, and then you'll get feedback. I just want to go over that feedback. I just want you to see that we have a rubric in here. Oh no, wrong thing. All my teaching buddies are gonna like that we have a rubric. So teaching assignment number 2, and we're gonna say view assignment. The rubric is on. Oh, I can't see. Oh yes, I can. So the rubric's on the side here. So it reaches all students. Modifications were offered. Effective communication. Embody the skill. Spotting was safe. Oh, Okay. Embodied it. So I forget what this one says, but it's there when you click on it. Useful cues, manage time wisely. And then we'll also give you a POP, positive, opportunity, positive. But we're just gonna kind of rate you on our scale. Of course, this is biased and completely subjective of who is judging you, right? So you can't take it too personally, but we'll also give you feedback. Just look at it as feedback as an opportunity to grow.
And I think you can also, when you take the video, just to play it back for yourself and look at all the cues that they mentioned and see what you might have been missing before you hand it in. I think
Perfect.
self-reflection through video is awesome. Go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, so analyze that video. Did I get everything on that rubric? The rubric is also written up for you in here into the classwork, and it's also listed in your other thing, but this is what we're looking for, okay? This is a criteria that we're gonna be looking for when you are presenting. So I just want you to show you one more thing. You have another assignment.
And if you can't get all these done this week, that's fine. We're gonna, yeah.
What was that?
I'm saying we're going to try to keep everyone up. I know that a lot of people have a lot of things going on during the week and you didn't know you had a ton of assignments, but just reach out to us. We'll help you. If you have an issue and you can't get it done by the end of the week, just talk to us. We're here for you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, we're going to be flexible with everything. This is just a teaching assignment where you're going to take a quiz about your learning style, and you're going to write down what your learning style is. And then you're going to read this article, and after reading the article, you're going to answer these questions. This is due Friday because we're going to use it in class on Saturday. This shouldn't take you too long, but it should be somewhat doable. So if this is freaking you out and you cannot do it, don't worry, just talk to us. But it shouldn't take you that long. It's kind of fun. It's like self-reflective of who you are as a learner. There's also a quiz in the manual that I did not link. I forgot to link it. But you can find it in the manual also if you don't like this quiz, okay? I am done with my teaching section, and now we're going to transition into TED Talks. So
can we, Sarah, before we go into TED Talks, I kind of feel like maybe we should end with the TED Talks and I can just go over some review stuff while everyone's attention's really focused. Is that okay, Sarah?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll end with TED Talks and that'll be the end.
143.
Great, you'll have the last word. We might just go like a tiny bit over, but we're gonna try to avoid that. If you have to leave right at 2, that's fine. But just to review a couple of things that are important, now that I have all of your attention, is that we talked about we were gonna do nomenclature. That nomenclature is going to be in that Thursday class. We're going to have a long talk about nomenclature and dork out. If you can't make that class, it'll be recorded. Another thing is that I realized that we're kind of all quarantined in our own spaces right now. And I think it would be awesome if I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking, how can we create more things to come together during the next month? And I called Taylor, and Taylor and I brainstormed for a while. And we came up with, we want to do 2. These are going to all be optional, and they're going to be recorded, and we're going to leave them available to you for a year. I have this fear that something's not going to get recorded, and that's possible, but we're going to be flexible, and we're going to do our best to get them recorded and to you. And there's going to be 2 one-hour lectures. And, there's stuff that we want to spend more time on, like subjects like gender, or like just have huge, it could be an hour-long conversation easily. Jeremy Martin's going to come in and do something about prehab. Hobbs and Keenan are going to talk about something, Jacob and Debbie. So it's going to be twice a week. And we're going to get you a schedule in the next couple hours. We're going to sit with each other and try to figure it out. But each week there's going to be 2 one-hour lectures that are optional. And also we're going to have a hangout. And this week that's going to be on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Central. But I'll write all this stuff down. Don't worry about it. And that's going to be with me and Waka on a lake in Wisconsin. So I'm excited to hang out with all of you. But anyway, and then the last thing I wanted to say was Facebook is that I'm going to start posting more questions. I want to talk. For example, I would love like little tiny bios of like who you are and what made you as a person. So like we can all get more connected. And then also stuff like I posted about what's going on in your community. More people should post on that. And I'm also going to post a thread about when the fall happened. I think Facebook threads and comments, and we can comment within a specific thread is a really useful tool for us to get individual feedback on our own given thing. So we're expanding this and giving you guys a lot more opportunities to connect. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by this because, as I was saying, they will be recorded and you can You know, if you have to do other things, that's fine, and you can watch them later. They'll be available to you. So is everyone cool with more offerings that are non-mandatory? Okay, cool. I thought you guys were. That's what. Where's my cheerleading team? Susie and Katie, thank you. Exactly, that's how I feel. All right, I'm also, the last thing I want to say is I'm really impressed how well this is going on this format, and I'm thankful for all of you. And I was just commenting how amazing you all are as participants, and I like really appreciated hearing your voice, and I hope to hear more of it soon. And with that in mind, actually, TED Talk, Sarah.
All right, so just one more thing. In 2 minutes, you're gonna get a feedback form for week number 1. It's just 3 questions that we want you to fill out. And just so that we know where you're at and how you're feeling. It will be released in 3 minutes, but maybe wait till after TED Talks. And we're gonna start TED Talks. And I am really gonna give you a 2-minute timer. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. People asked a question though about where is assignment 2A? Just to be clear, it is in Google Classroom. It's called assignment 2A. Everything's linked in there with the questions and everything like that, okay? But we're gonna start